Hello, this is Dan. Today's presentation is on secret votes. What do I do at the election using myHOAst? So in this scenario, I'm going to use myHOAst to finish my community election. Today is December 31, the day of the election, and I'm at the annual meeting. The first thing I'm going to do is explain the steps, and then I'm going to go on to actually demonstrate this within myHOAst. The first step to do at the meeting is to announce, as you normally do, that you're going to close the voting time. You're going to no longer accept paper ballots, say in 5 minutes. 5 minutes goes by and you say, okay, the election is now closed. So you must close the voting time in myHOAst so that we do not get any more online votes either. Then we're going to record the addresses for the paper ballots received. Then we're going to enter the paper ballots into myHOAst. We'll see the election results, but we're not done yet. We're going to finish this process by creating the permanent report, and finally by removing the opt-in and opt-out dates that we set up when we set up this election. So let's see how this works, starting with step number 1. Okay, I'm in the system, my community, presidential place, and the first step was to close the voting time. So I go to the owners' meetings, click on this presidential place annual meeting, and on voting. Now to close the voting time, I do this, and that's it. Now this caution is telling me that when I close the voting time, this is going to be captured on the uneditable audit trail. So caution must be used when checking this box off. If this is not time to close the election, please don't do this. But yes, this is appropriate. I'm going to confirm that. Now, number 1 is done. The voting time is closed. Number 2 is to record the addresses for the paper ballots received. Now, let's assume that I've gotten, say, 3 ballots for units 1, 2, and 3. So I go here to record the paper ballots. And I check off Unit 1, check off Unit 2, and I can't check off Unit 3 because Unit 3 submitted an online vote. So my ballot, my paper ballot for Unit 3 must be discarded. I cannot accept the paper ballot for Unit 3. So I only have 2 actually received. Step 3 is to enter paper ballots, and you do that by hitting enter votes. Here's a warning that tells you to make sure that the count of addresses you checked off equals the number of sheets of paper or anonymous votes that you have in your possession. I'm going to say, okay. So the system says that I should have 2 secret votes because I checked off 2 addresses. If that's true, I can continue. So for entering paper ballots, I look at the first one. And by the way, we recommend 3 people do this process. 1 is holding the secret votes and it's going to read them off. 1 is going to enter them into myHOAst, do exactly what I'm doing, and 1 person to be the witness. Okay, so the first one, the person to my left says they voted for Jefferson. I say Jefferson, submit, and then they say the next one voted for Lincoln. I say Lincoln, and I submit. And the system says, you said you had 2, you entered 2, you should be done. Pops me right out of there. Step 4, let's now see the election results. Hit results key, and there's the election results. Thomas Jefferson received 3 votes, Abraham Lincoln 1, and George Washington 0. Now the way this works, it turns out this is in alphabetical order, but the way the system works is it'll put the winner or the one who gets the most votes on top. And so it puts this lines up based upon votes. And in here, you have the addresses and votes. This is everybody who voted. You have these addresses, and each address got 1 vote. And for the electronic voters, it will specify who voted and for what property. Again, this is a secret election, so you're not going to see who this voter voted for. Step number 5, create the permanent report. I'm going to go back here, click on my meeting line, and create report. Now, why do I create the report? I create the report because the area we're in right now, and I'm under CM Owners Meetings. Remember, CM Owners Meetings. That area is a live area. If you were to take away the voting privilege for a property, for example, that would change the computation for the quorum. And if that property provided a vote, that would take away the vote. So this is a live area, and what you do affects the election. Now, that's not something you want to do, have happen, say, next month or next year. So create report puts the same information into a location that cannot change, will not change. And it doesn't matter if you have new owners. It doesn't matter what you do for voting privileges. You have now a report under the reports menu option, under meetings. You now have a report that is permanent and it is static for this meeting. The last step, something we need to remember, is we go to the opt-in, opt-out dates and remove these dates. Remember, these dates are deadline dates for opting in and deadline dates for opting out. These dates came from your board resolution. They no longer apply because the meeting is over. So I'm going to just erase all of them, erase the use specified deadlines, and now update. Now, having no dates here, that means I can go back now to doing surveys and other votes. Again, if I have another vote that requires a quorum, I'm going to reset these deadline dates, but they no longer apply. And that's it. That's the whole process.